Hey, welcome to Curly Q&A. This is a Mondays with Melanie show. This is show number 78. It says so right on the wall. I'm your host. I'm Ken Nickels. For those of you who haven't,
hey, welcome.
This is the internet's
Curly Q&A.
weekly
This is a Monday
Curly Hair
Melanie
Q&A
show. Show number
run by
78. It says so right on the wall.
People.
I'm your host. I'm Ken Nickels.
Raw
For
Hair
those of you who
Organic
haven't joined us before, this is the internet's only weekly Curly Hair Q&A show.
Melanie is sitting
run
next
by
to me. This is Melanie Nickels.
Curly
She
hair
is the
people.
founder of the
and I'm from Raw Hair Organics, which is the
natural
parent
organic
company of
brand
Raw
of
Curls
curly hair products
and
sold in 31 countries worldwide, and also the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida, which is the home of the Raw Curls cutting system, one of the top curly salons in the country, where she works behind the chair every day doing curly hair along with her curly minions, right?
That's right.
Are they your minions?
Yeah. They're my curly kids. That's what I call them.
Your curly kids.
Yes.
Your curly kids. So, Melanie is, for those of you who haven't been with us before, for 77 previous episodes, we also run the Curly Girls Support Group on Facebook. I know some of you are watching on it, and those of you on Instagram and YouTube and whatever. If you're not familiar with it, search it on Facebook. There's almost 45,000 members in that group now. Wow.
Yeah,
and
lots of curly support there.
Lots of curly support. That's what it is.
AA for curly hair. All you curlaholics that need help.
Yeah, and Melanie and I and our curl kids, curl minions from the salon, monitor that group on a daily basis, so you can actually ask questions and get answers from the curl experts. Melanie's background, I'll tell you a little bit about it. She's been a behind the chair stylist for over 21 years. She graduated from the Evada Institute and was mentored by British and U.S. hairdressing champion Malcolm Brown for several years, still does when he's in town here, down in Naples. And as well as, like I said, the founder of the Raw Curls brand and the Raw Hair Organic Salon. She has extensive curl training in Diva, Weedad, Curlisto, and many other different curl disciplines. And she's also an educator. She's an American board certified master hair colorist, one of only 19 exam evaluators for that organization nationwide, which is very cool. And she's also been an educator for them in the past in the natural and organic and non-toxic hair coloring realm. She was also a former Broadway stylist on the hit show 42nd Street. Yep. And among
what should I do?
I could right jazz
That's
hands,
more
right?
Jazz
hands.
Sorry, I had the wrong thing.
Right.
This was like disco.
Right, that was disco. Right, but among other things, I'll just kind of cut it off on that. And she also has 2 college degrees, one in business management and one in accounting. So.
And
anyway.
Ken is Ken.
That's who I am. That's I'm kind of the guy that runs everything. Sort of, I guess you could say that. Whether I do it well is another story. Boy.
Actually, though, I have a fun fact about that.
I have a fun fact tonight. That's a great one that I'm sure you're not aware of.
This
but
kind of just rolls into mine.
It kind of rolls in it.
Yeah. So, my fun fact for the evening is about Ken. Actually,
oh God,
he was 21 when he started his first business. Correct?
Yes, I was.
And were you still living at home?
I sure was.
Is that like failure to launch?
No, it's failure to want to pay any other bills than your business bills.
Okay.
Yeah, you hear those stories about, I started in my basement, but I really did. I started in my parents' basement, and it was not like a pretty finished basement. It was an old house built in World War II.
It had a toilet.
Right, with no walls around it or anything else. It had a toilet, like smack in the middle of it. And it was covered in cobwebs and whatever. And I had this old 1950s table and, those chairs from my grandma when my grandma died. It was wires hanging everywhere. It was a mess.
How long did you run the business out of there?
Oh, gosh, probably a year. I'll bet a year. Yeah, so. But yeah, I did. That's where I started my first business, was literally there with a, wired phone from the rafters, and that's how it was, just moving crap around. It was great. So I have a fun fact. I have actually it's kind of a curl fun fact, but at the same time it's not, and you'll know why when I ask.
Then it's got to be about me.
Kind of, it does. Do you know what happened 22 years ago tonight?
22 years ago
tonight. Yes, today. Tonight. Happened tonight.
July. I have no idea.
This is the 22nd anniversary of the Magnificent Seven winning the gold medal at the Atlanta Olympics.
Oh, cool.
Now, do you want to know the fun fact about that? Because that's
not the fun fact. What does that have to do with curly hair?
What that has to do with curly hair is one of the Magnificent Seven is a Raw Hair Organics products user. Absolutely. As a true fact.
Are we talking about Shannon Miller?
We're talking about Shannon Miller. And another.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon. And you know what a lot of people don't know about Shannon?
She's got curly hair.
She's got curly hair. Exactly. You never see it. You
I
never
didn't know
see
that
it.
either.
You never see it. She straightens it. She flat irons it like every day.
Yeah,
so.
we found that out.
Yeah, we found that out. So anyway, yeah. So that's a fun fact. Is that happened 22 years ago tonight? And one of the Magnificent Seven is a is a user.
Awesome.
Is a user.
She's a user. You better clarify that.
Right, I should clarify that. So anyway,
she's in the Raw Curls rehab.
She's in the Raw Curls rehab. Anyway, yeah, wonderful people. All right, so should we get into some questions? Actually, we've got our producer Rhett with us today. Say hi.
Hey,
Rhett, can you do us a favor? Could you turn the air conditioner down?
Maybe.
Okay, good, because it's like really hot over here. It's like really hot. Like take it down.
In front of the camera.
It's not hot here.
Yeah, like take it like 14. No, not up. Just down.
How
Goes.
far?
I don't care.
Okay.
Cooler than it is now. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Let's. You want to get into some questions, or are we done with the fun facts?
We're done.
Okay. This is okay for those of you who don't. Once a month, if you're new here, once a month we do what's called an Ask Me Anything show. So you're actually able to submit questions during the week, and you can ask us anything. And we really pretty much don't. When I take these questions and compile them, I don't read them first, which is good and bad. It's good and bad. So Melanie will be as surprised as you are, and so will I. So let's get started. We've got lots of questions.
It's kind of like a total fun fact show.
Yeah, it is total fun fact show. So let's get going. Okay, first question comes from Alexandra Cochran. I want to see a salon tour video. Can you make one? She wants to see a salon tour of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in Naples. Can you do one of those? Do you have time?
Yeah, maybe not me personally, but one of my girls certainly could do that. I thought we had a video.
We had shots. We had shots and pictures. You never did a real and like an actual tour.
This may not come as a surprise, but you're like super loud in my ears. Can you? Yeah.
Can I turn her down or no?
Yeah. You can. Channel. I think she's on channel 1 on the little.
Am I on channel 1? Let me try.
It's like he's screaming.
It was really quiet. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it was really quiet last week. I noticed when I looked at the replay.
I just feel like you're blowing my eardrums.
So Alexandra, the answer to your question is yes. Yes. I don't know when it's going to be. Maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll probably get to it.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Something like that. So, okay. All right. Let's go to the next question. Next one's from Margaret Fight. She asks, when I take my fine wavy hair out of a plop, there is no semblance of a part anywhere. Should I make a part before diffusing?
I guess if you want one, yes. A lot of people like to not have a part because then the hair kind of falls into place and it gives you a little more lift. But if you want a definite part, then I do suggest putting your hair in that direction before you plot. Like when I style someone's hair, if they want it to go to a certain side, then I comb it that way before I apply the products.
Okay, good. Hopefully that helps you, Margaret. Let's go on. Shannon Clouda, she asks, can changing products lead to more hair loss or increased knots in my hair? I used to do Aveda Shampoo for both shampoo and conditioner, then switched to Diva Curl No Poo and One Condition, and I feel like I am seeing more hair in the shower, and I know I have knots in the underlayer of my curls that I've never had. Wasn't sure if it was summer or the new products. What are your thoughts on that? Can you, if you change your products, can you see more hair loss? And if so, what about knots? And is it products or weather? What do you think?
Yeah, it could be a combination of all of that, but definitely if you switch products, your hair may not be reacting well to them. Or like we have people that switch from other products to ours, and there is like a transition period, and a lot of times you actually have to do what we call a detox or a clarifying treatment to remove whatever was on the hair, especially if you're using like cheaper products that have wax ingredients that can build up and things like that. But maybe the hair just isn't accepting and reacting well to the new product.
Yeah.
So
I've got actually a related question to that. I've got a woman that I've been talking to this past week or so who she's losing. I had mentioned her to you about a week ago. She's losing hair, wondering why, and we talked about putting her on Xenogen. And she mentioned to me a couple of days ago that she's using Kenra hairspray and finishing spray, which have some silicones in them. And after I thought about it for a while, I'm like, I wonder if she's got so much buildup that it's clogging the hair follicle because she's been doing it so long that it's clogging the hair follicle, and maybe that's why she's getting some hair loss. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
So you think the Malibu C, Undo Goo, something like that, maybe the Diva Buildup Buster, something like that will strip that out, will actually help?
Yes, absolutely.
Another related question to that, do hair follicles die?
Do hair follicles die?
In other words, if say you've got somebody like this woman who's losing hair because she's got clogged follicles, let's just say, if she unclogs those by detoxing, will the hair grow back?
Yes, well, that is really a two-part answer because your hair does have a life cycle. So your hair follicles can become inactive. Like, for instance, my client who was the first one Cliff, that we started on the Xenogen.
Yeah.
And because he's already in advanced stages of hair loss, and it started probably in his early 20s, some of those hair follicles are dead. So yeah, they do have a certain life cycle. So those will no longer produce any hair. But as long as your hair follicles are active and live, you, can unclog them and continue to grow new hair.
Really? That's good. I should, if I get a chance later on this week, I'll see if I've got those pictures of Cliff.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
They're pretty amazing, and that's Xenogen. That's a, is it safe? Is it, am I right if I call it a natural hair loss product? Is that
correct? Yeah, they use natural nutraceuticals instead of the minoxidil chemicals that are in most of the hair growth products. So, yes, it's much cleaner and safer.
Yeah, we've seen some really cool results. At the same time, though, I used it for almost a year, got nothing.
Yeah,
and because I've got this one spot like here where I wish it would come back, just this little. That's all I've got. But the Xenogen didn't work. But for like Cliff, it was amazing.
Yeah, it all depends.
He had a spot.
The whole back of his head.
The whole back of his head.
So I always tell people, I don't like to give false hope, but we've seen fantastic results, and every case is different. It depends on what's causing the hair loss, but we have seen fantastic results with the Xenogen product. That's really the only product for hair growth that I've ever endorsed.
Okay, cool. Dina, if you're watching, there's your answer. There it is. Okay, let's go on. Nicole Myers, she's got a statement, a question. I am loving how my curls are coming through. I know I still have a ways to go, but one thing I have searched for is how to achieve volume and hold. Is it okay to use hairspray? Also, as you can probably tell in my picture, well, we can't tell in your picture because we don't have your picture up, but let's just pretend we see it. I do back comb my hair in order to get desired height on my head. Then I use a little clips or to clip it in the direction I want it to go. Will I ever be able to have a quote-unquote wash and go style with volume? Thank you.
Well, backcombing curly hair is really, yikes, a little scary because, that's really roughening the cuticle and that's going to, be damaging to the hair and cause frizz for sure.
Yeah.
So, but I guess, that's what she does. So, but yeah, what we recommend for getting more volume in the hair is you can use more of a firm hold gel and then, apply your products. We like to flip the head upside down when you're scrunching and then pin the hair. So all of those things help to give more volume in the hair. Definitely diffusing, using a diffuser helps to give you more fullness in body and volume. And then also the pinning, of course, is fantastic for that.
Mm-hmm.
And the hairspray, there are curly friendly hairsprays. And so just make sure you're using something without alcohol because that's going to be drying and dehydrating.
And that's tough because the majority of them do have alcohol in
yeah.
them. So
Usually,
that's tough.
yeah, I know that usually if it's a pump like our Raw Curls, then it doesn't have alcohol in it. It's going to come out more wet, so you have to just now hold it really close when you spray it. But there are ones out there that do not have the alcohols in it. But if it's an aerosol, most likely it does.
Yeah, okay. Stephanie Giske would like to know, Melanie, how is your mom doing? How's your mom doing?
My mom is doing better. So as of Friday, she was released from the hospital finally after 5 weeks. And she
was it
is...
that long? 5 weeks?
Yeah. 5 weeks. And so she is in a rehab facility and she's getting better.
Not for drugs or alcohol or anything.
Yeah, and not for curly hair either. She's bald right now.
She's bald, yeah.
Yeah, she's bald. But she is doing better. She's making progress. It's, it seems slow, but I'm going to be able to go out and visit her again and give a real update. I've just been able to talk to her over the phone briefly. She's very tired. She doesn't have a lot of energy, but she has made huge improvements over the last week and a half, really, because she was able to get released finally. And after 3 more weeks, then she'll go back and get reevaluated as far as her treatment. But she has been able to stand a little bit and walk a little bit, so that's big progress.
Yeah, that's big progress.
Yeah, because a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago today, she was in ICU.
Oh, I should bring this up, actually, now that you mention it. Best wishes and get well soon to one of our group members, Sharon, who had back surgery today. Just thought of that. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're back on your feet.
Get well.
Get well. I just realized, I should review some of these questions beforehand more often than I do. This is from Allison Roche. Although after I read the first sentence of this and thought about it here while Melanie was answering this, I realized it's not Roche, it's Allison Roach is how it's pronounced. And you'll find out in a second why I know that. Allison Roach would like to know, she said, Ken, you probably, this is Ask Me Anything show, remember? Ken, you probably don't remember me, but I went to college with you. I'm like, oh, right there. I'm like, stop.
Oh, gosh.
Stop. Moving on. No, actually, it's actually kind of nice. Ken, you probably don't remember me, but I went to college with you. I joined this group a while ago, and after watching the show for a couple of Mondays ago, I realized it was you. She puts in parentheses, she said, this is my maiden name. I just wanted to say, it's funny. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. If you're going to do a show like this, if you're going to do internet show stuff,
funny?
you got to be able to laugh at yourself, and you got to laugh at your past, and you got to remember that people.
Do you remember?
You know what? I absolutely know the name. I know her hair is dark blonde, but I can't.
Well, it was.
I can't. I have to think about it. Right.
May not be dark blonde
anymore.
anymore.
I got to think about it, but I absolutely knew the name when I saw it. As soon as she said I went to college with her, I'm like, that's not Roche. Anyway, she said, I just wanted to say that none of this surprises me at all. I remember your crappy orange VW Bug and you always being broke. Okay, so now you know that's somebody that actually knows me. That really knows me.
Oh.
That's it's funny, but it's not. But you got to be able to laugh at yourself, right? Okay. Nice to see you've done something with your life. Haha. Now, see, now right there, I start thinking to myself. I'm like, okay, so what? So this whole time, the 30 years, you've been thinking, oh, that loser hasn't done anything. But anyway, nice to see you've done something with your life. Ha ha. Yeah. I could have really used your help with my hair 30 years ago. Wish I would have known. Well, I didn't know anything.
Oh my God, you would not. He had a mullet 30 years ago. You would not want his help. No,
that was a good-looking mullet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know how many times Maria tried to nicely say, we should really cut this off?
I can imagine.
Like, nope.
I can imagine. She's too nice.
As nice as she could. We could really do something like, nope.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Well, glad you're doing.
He's come a long way. He knows how to apply gel.
Yeah, actually pretty darn good. I know a lot about pomades and clays. Okay, moving on. Okay.
What was the question? Oh, that was just...
It was just a question.
Okay.
She really didn't have a question. Okay, this is from Share Bear Bear. Share Bear Bear. I recently tried to cleanse my hair from buildup using apple cider vinegar. Never again, with multiple exclamation points. My hair had been a knotted mess no matter how much conditioner I used to comb it out in the shower. What can I do to deep condition my hair now? I have dry, frizzy hair now as a result. Pretty much expected, right? After you're going to do a cleanse or a detox?
No, not with the apple cider vinegar. Actually, some people use that to help detangle the hair. So something else was going on there. It is very acidic. So if she already had extremely dry hair, it could be just making it more acidic, which would ultimately be drying. But that is not the case with everybody. So no, definitely not. So, but there are plenty of wonderful deep conditioners out there. There's tons, and every diva has one. We actually don't have a separate deep conditioner. I find that my regular Raw Curls conditioner is very, very moisturizing and conditioning. It can be used as a leave-in. Let's see, we use a wonderful one from Away in the salon. And what else? Cleove is a new one that we use. That's fabulous. And Organic Color Systems has OCS they have a couple fabulous deep conditioners.
Yeah.
But there's tons of them out there.
So tell me about, since we're talking about deep conditioning, tell me about that deal you guys have at the salon with that far infrared deal. Is that a deep conditioning treatment? What is that, and explain that.
That is a tool. It looks like a flat iron, but it has red infrared lights.
So it doesn't get hot?
Right. It's really kind of crazy the first time you use it, because we're used to using flat irons that heat up. So it doesn't get hot, but it pushes that conditioner into the hair, kind of like using a steamer. So it's really pushing the conditioning treatment into the hair and then sealing down the cuticle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Would she benefit from something like that?
Absolutely, everybody would.
But do a lot of salons have that?
I
haven't
don't
heard
know.
anybody using that except for you.
Yeah. Well, there's some from the people that have salons, like from, the companies that distribute Away that I know of.
Yeah.
But I don't hear about it a lot. I don't. But it is great.
Okay. Next question's from Mary Gissy. I too am wondering about using hairspray. My hair is very fine and I have trouble creating volume. If I use too many products, it just ends up looking weighed down. Also, I am over 50 and my stylist says the frizzies I have are due to the texture of the gray. I color it, she says. I don't see many posts from older curlies, wondering if they have the same problem. What do you mean older? What the hell does that mean?
Well, over 50. Yeah, that's pretty old.
Whatever. Moving on.
So definitely true. Those gray hairs give a totally different texture, and
some of us don't have gray.
Right. Yeah, just because you got color yesterday. We're gonna do his color on the show sometime.
We might. Anyway, go on.
So those gray hairs definitely give a frizzier texture to the hair. I have that same problem, and it's just something we have to deal with. And I tell my clients all the time, and they experience it, and so do I. That depending on what color line you're using, the hair actually, when we color it with our non-ammonia hair color, it's super conditioning, so the hair feels better. It feels smoother. It feels more conditioned and shiny.
Yeah.
So, and it controls those gray hairs.
People talk about
It
that all the
softens it,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. With both, with OA, with organic color systems. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
So that is a common problem. It's, it is what it is, and you just have to use products. Pomades really help with that, to help to smooth and hold down those little flyaway grays, because a lot of times, especially around the front, they seem to be little short pieces, whether that's new growth coming in or they just don't grow any longer. So it's helpful to use a pomade product to hold those down.
Okay. Hopefully that helps, Mary. Gina Johnson, Ginny Johnson. I'm gonna try to rattle through as many of these as we can, because we've got so many questions this week, and a lot of them are really good. And I need to get some more Ask Me Anything questions.
These aren't the Ask Me Anything?
No, these are not. Ginny Johnson.
That's what I thought we were doing.
No, this is we got a couple of them. We got some more. Oh, we got some more. Oh, there's some familiar names in here. I might skip around and save some of these other ones for next week's show. Ginny Johnson, I need help with frizz in the humidity. There are so many questions about it in the Facebook page group. Got any suggestions for dealing with the frizz?
Yes, again, just keeping the hair moisturized is going to help, because the hair likes to reach out to the humidity, the moisture in the air, and that makes the hair look frizzy, stand up. So keeping it nice and conditioned and moisturized is really helpful. Using anti-frizz products without silicone is what I recommend. Again, I could talk about the Raw Curls product. The anti-frizz that we have has a patented molecule in there that is reactivated every time you run your hands through your hair. So previously in the past, a lot of people have said, don't touch your curls, you'll get frizz. But speaking for my own brand of products, you can do that. It actually helps to smooth the hair out. If my hair was frizzing up, I could run my fingers through it, and it actually calms it down, because it's reactivating that anti-frizz molecule in the anti-frizz product.
Sure. I know a lot of people use this thing right over here. This leave-in.
It's a 10. Yeah, that's a good product. A lot of people like that one.
Yeah, but I thought this one had cones in it.
It has lots of silicone in it.
Does it? That's why it works so well. See, that is the big trade-off with, you guys saw.
Let me see it.
I did a video about this maybe a year or so ago with one of our chemists, and we talked about it. We talked a lot about that. Yeah, silicones are great. I mean, as far as they make your hair look great, but they're just not good.
You did have a question about that in the chat on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a couple ingredients in that is a silicone.
Yeah.
And it's full of fragrances, which I don't love, but some people aren't bothered by that.
Some people aren't. Some people are. I am, but that's me.
Yeah.
Here I've got an Ask Me Anything.
Okay, well, this is an Ask Me Anything show, and
it is.
We haven't even done Ask Me Anything.
We've got a couple. We've got some more. I'll move forward. This is from Tracy Saviak. This is Ken. Has anyone ever told you that you remind them of Dan the auctioneer on Storage Wars? Like maybe you're his younger, more handsome brother. No, I have not heard that.
Oh, gosh.
However,
that
I've been told
would be appropriate, though.
That I'm younger and handsome? Yes.
No.
What do you mean,
that
no?
he would be like the auctioneer on a storage.
Okay, you're right. That I absolutely
buying and selling crap.
So no, right. So no, Tracy, that's I get off on that kind of stuff. No one has told me that. I don't watch TV, so I don't know who this is. So I'm hoping it's a compliment.
We'll have to
well,
find
it must
a picture.
be. He said more younger and more handsome. However, I have been told many times that I look like, what's that actor's name?
Dennis Quaid or Patrick Swayze,
or is it
I think.
Kurt Russell?
Or Kurt Russell.
It's whoever Goldie Hawn's boyfriend is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's true. All right, moving on. Okay, this is from Francis Haynes. Will I ever get a hold of this curly girl thing? Or no? Will I ever get the hang of this curly girl thing? But I did get a compliment or two at work. Will she ever get a hang of this? How hard is the curly girl method to learn and to actually make work?
I guess you're asking the wrong person, because for me, I don't even think about it being complicated. It's like super simple. It's so much easier than sitting there trying to blow out your hair and work with it straight. So, maybe she's overwhelmed by all the information. There's so much information out there, and we talk about that all the time. Like, who do you listen to? Mm-hmm. So, that can get confusing for people because there is misinformation out there for sure. And that's part of why.
In the curly world, misinformation?
Yep, absolutely.
No. By who?
Yeah, all kinds of people.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would have never guessed.
So that's part of why we're doing this show, and because, I'm a professional and we give professional information instead of just, people making comments.
Right.
That don't really have experience.
Yeah. Here I'm going to give you 2 back-to-back Ask Me Anything questions. So I'm going to skip around a little bit, just a little bit. On this, Rhett. The first one is from Dana Schultz. When are you guys opening a salon in the Milwaukee area?
Is that Dana Schultz that we know?
There's some familiar names tonight.
Dana doesn't have curly hair. What is he doing?
I don't know what he's doing in here.
How did he get in this group?
I have no idea. He probably asked to join and got in. I don't know.
He's a guy. I thought we weren't even letting guys.
We're not.
Now we're letting guys in with straight hair.
He's got a multi-dimensional name, right? Kind of like Chris or Sandy
multi-dimensional name.
Right,
I never heard it used
Chris
that way.
could be a boy or a girl. Dana could be a boy or a girl.
I don't think that's called multi-dimensional.
Tony could be a boy or a girl.
Dana. I wish we were. Yeah, I wish we were. Maybe in the future, we do plan on opening different locations, but
we do know a guy with a lot of commercial real estate.
Hey, Dana, maybe you could fund it. That's my answer. If somebody funds it, then I'll open the salon wherever you want me to.
Wherever the hell you want.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
That's perfect.
I would do it. I would do it just so I had a reason to hang out there a little bit more.
Neither one of them have curly hair, so Tanya's hair couldn't be straighter than. Oh my gosh.
Stick straight. Yeah. Same with their kids. Here's another one. Grace Simpson, are there any curly girl rules that Melanie breaks with her own hair? Ooh, are you a rule breaker?
Uh-oh.
Are you a rebel?
I'm pretty rowdy.
I'm a rebel.
Yep. Any rule? Well, according to who? If you go according to certain people's systems, yes, then I do, because certain companies don't believe in combing the hair, and so I do break that rule. So yeah, I would say there's several rules that I kind of break, and again, just like not touching the hair, it'll cause frizz, just because I've been able to create these amazing products where you can break those rules. And I just broke another rule, not with my hair. I wouldn't do this with my hair, but one of my clients actually, we have a video of this, and it even made me break out in a sweat.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was so nervous, but she's got really fine, more
it's gray.
Gray hair, but it's very fine, very silky. I would say she's like a 2C. And she wanted me to brush through her hair after it was styled to fluff it. And I was even nervous about that one, but I did it. And I said, I'm like, well,
and filmed it.
If it turns out horribly, it's not my fault. You made me do it.
Right.
But it really did work. And it doesn't work on every hair type for sure. Only a few people would be able to do that. But I just did it on another lady because she was we've been kind of going around and around with her hair. It's, again, very fine. She likes it. She keeps saying fuller, more fluffy. She brushes through it so it looks way too frizzy. It's just way too brushed through. But, I kept feeling like maybe she likes it more of a actually blown out set look. We've kind of been going around. So the last time she was in, I said, let's try this, So I styled her hair the normal curly way that I would.
Yeah.
And then I just lightly brushed through it one time with my wet brush, and that's it, because it's so fine. She just likes it a little more fluffed and separated and soft, not quite so curly and tight, and she loved it.
If I can find that video, I'll post it in the Curly Girls support group. Maybe I'll put it on Instagram too. We'll see. It's short. It's under a minute long. I gotta find it though. It's one of those things. Trust me, it's one of those things that you wouldn't believe it unless you saw it.
Yeah, because you're like,
no,
no,
right? You're like, no way. You're like, you're a hack.
Yeah,
And then you see it and you're like,
looks beautiful.
it actually works. It's
It
like,
looks
no way.
beautiful. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But so yes, I but really with my own hair, that's the only thing that I can think that I break.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Next question is it's Ask Me Anything for Ken. It's from Colleen Elizabeth. Ken, when you were cancer free, what was the first thing or things/toxins you removed from your daily life? Did you start with things you ingested or topically applied? What was your journey to health and clean living? Um, I'm going to give you the real short answer, because if you know me, I could go on just on those two sentences. I could go on. I actually, okay. First things first.
This could be a really short answer.
This could be a really short answer. It could be a yes or no, right? It could be, but it's not. I'm going to give you a little bit. Okay. First of all, I never say cancer free. I've been down this road 3 times. It just doesn't come out of my mouth. It's just I don't. Right. I kind of deal with it now. Is I kind of I'm,
Well, you're in
I just deal with
remission.
it. I just deal with it. Yeah. I live my life for the most part like it could come back in any moment, but at the same time, I don't think about it. So that goes into the second part of your question, is that I really didn't, I changed stuff right away. Like within a day, probably a day of getting diagnosed, I pretty much changed, everything in my diet. And I knew it. And I was given some books and some tapes, and I knew it. And I got, sugar out, white flour, everything.
All the whites.
Yeah, all the white crap, and everything.
You're a white hater.
Yes, I'm a racist. I've been called that in this. I've been called that in this group. But anyway, what was I called this week? What did I tell you? Oh, I was mansplaining curls. That's what a mansplainer.
Mansplaining?
Yeah, I got called that, a mansplainer.
I never heard that term.
I didn't either until this week. I know it was an insult. But anyway, I had to look at it for a minute. But I started right from the beginning, and I realized, okay, I got to get everything out of my life that's not helping me or my body to get better and heal itself. So as far as
diet.
that, I got rid of diet was the first thing. So it was ingested stuff right away, and there were a lot of benefits to it. And like I said, when I
You
got
lost
that,
55 pounds.
yeah, in a couple of months, in no time, and within a year, I looked physically, I looked better than I probably ever did in my life, ever. In a matter of just by
That's
all
when
the,
you did a triathlon?
it was later.
Well,
Well, I was training.
Yeah, you did a triathlon later.
Yeah, well, I did it later, but I was training before I got sick the second or third time. I don't remember, but I mean, it's all kinds of things. And it's funny how the inside really changes the outside, because I noticed like my skin got so much better. Like breakouts were like never, right? Skin soft as a baby. It's just really amazing. I changed everything ahead of time, not after.
Well, during, not ahead of time, but during.
Well, yeah, after, like right after diagnosis, so kind of during that. So yeah, it was ingested, and then topically, just little by little, the more I learned, and I did a ton of research. So that's the really short answer. I know a lot of you who follow us know that I'm going to launch that green juice powder in a couple weeks here that I used when I was sick. And we'll talk more about that. And I'm not going to sales pitch anybody about it. You want to know about it, I'll tell you. You want to know about this, and I'm going to do podcasts on this every week for about half an hour, where you can Q&A me live, and I'll tell you all this kind of stuff if you want to know. So, and it won't cost you anything. I've also got a related question that at the very last minute, right before you got here, I told Red about. I said, this isn't in here. I pulled this question out. It came in right after this question, because at first I thought it was a little too heavy, and then I thought about it. It's Ask Me Anything. What the hell am I doing? And that question is, Ken, what is the first thing you would tell someone just diagnosed with cancer? I'm not going to get into a whole lot of details. I'm going to give you a really, really short answer about that. The first thing I would tell them is you need to come to terms right off the bat. You need to come to terms with the fact that you may very well die. You may very well die. This may very well, kill you. You need to deal with your own mortality, I feel, first, right off the bat. Because if you don't deal with that, you're going to go every day while you're trying to fight. You're going to go every day. You're going to be thinking, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And that creates, I don't know how to describe it, but it creates like a block in your mind, because you can't think about, you can't concentrate on getting better and getting healthy and whatever, and to get, your mind to help your body. If that statement is still stuck in the back of your mind all the time, I'm going to die, I'm going to die.
Yeah,
so
but
I think if you deal with that right away, I feel if you deal with that right away and you get that out of your head, that, okay, I may very well, now I'm going to fight.
Yeah. But I'm going to add to that, your attitude matters. Having a positive attitude is a big, big thing. And
Tons.
Just like what he's talking about, the words that you use, the way that you think, using, just thinking and talking positively makes a huge difference. Laughing, we laughed. He was supposed to have 10 belly laughs a day. Things like that make a big difference.
Yeah.
And, what was I going to say about that? Oh, we're all dying. We're all dying.
We're all dying, right.
It's just we are. And Steve and I used to talk about this. One of my old salon owners that I worked at, one of my bosses, his wife had lung cancer when Ken was going through, his cancer. So we as spouses talked a lot. And, that was something that we said, we're all going to die. You guys just have a pretty good idea from what. And when. We just have no idea.
Right.
So, you can look at it that way.
Right. Yeah. Do you remember this? I went during the course of this when I was sick. I went to a lot of clinics and hospitals and whatever, and I met tons of people. Again, I'm not going to drag on real long, but it was just a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to bring someone on to interview that I was sick with at the same time, and I was looking her up, and I just found out within the last week or two that she had died, that it had come back and it had killed her. And I realized after I thought about that, of all the people that I met during that whole almost 4 years, I'm the only one still alive. The only one. And that, that's a weight, that's something to really, now let's just leave it at that. I don't want to go any further than that. Now let's just leave it at that. You got anything to add to that?
They were asking what would be what you would tell them. Yeah.
That's it. That would be the first thing I tell you is that you got to deal with your own mortality first. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Get educated. Look into your options, because people get afraid. They get
paralyzed by it.
Yeah, they get paralyzed by the fear of, and then they get pressured by the doctors, and they just start doing whatever they tell you. And, there are options, there are choices. So, you have to be, I am a true believer after going through all of this, that whatever you believe will heal you is what works. So if you think that drinking the Motivate juice or, getting chemo or, whatever is the cure, then that is what really, really helps to heal you. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
We've seen people be healed by just prayer and faith. And every holistic treatments, traditional treatments, we've seen it all. So I really, for us, I believe a combination of things worked. But your attitude and what you believe in makes a big difference.
Yeah, I'll throw one last thing in there,
but there's options.
Yeah,
look at your options.
Look at your options. Yeah, I'll throw one last thing in there. And remember, I used to tell because I went through this like realistically 3 times. I went to all these clinics and hospitals. Do you remember I used to say that because I meet all these people because I'm outgoing and all these new people are coming and going like every day. New people are coming in sick. Do you remember I used to tell you that when I'd meet people and I could tell, like literally within minutes of talking to them, I could literally tell you, yep, that person's going to make it or that person's going to die. And I was right every time. And that's how I know so much of it's mental. And it was so sad because, you can't tell them that, right? But you're like, you want to tell them, you want to say, look, you got to change that attitude because you've already lost.
Yeah,
I've talked to you for 3 minutes. I can remember one guy I talked to, and I won't go into details because I know some people might know him. I had a discussion with him, and I wanted to make light of it and say, he's like, I got stage 1, whatever, and I'd be like, I'm at stage 3B. I'm right on the edge of stage 4, and I'm like, I'd do anything to have stage 1. I'm like, what are you upset about, right? I'm like, and I'm like, because I'd been through it for so long, you just kind of become numb, and but everything goes well. But anyway, let's just quit at that. Let's do one more curly hair related question. This one comes from Alita Williamson Bath.
Hey, Alita.
I told you some familiar names. I have had significant hair loss. I can't imagine with all the hair that woman's got, right? Does it even show?
Good.
Right. I have had significant hair loss, I think due to medication. Do you have any recommendations? I only use Raw Curls products. Yep, she sure does. I know that.
Here's a fun fact. Alita sang at our wedding.
That's right. I completely forgot.
Mm-hmm.
She's a wonderful singer.
Yeah, she's got
You're
an
right.
awesome voice. Mm-hmm.
I forgot. Anyway, thanks, Alita. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. So 21 years later, it's probably age related, I'm guessing.
She's
Sorry,
29.
Alita.
No, impossible.
But you're probably going through that menopause or premenopause thing that is so wonderful, and women start to experience hair loss. So, I would recommend getting the hormones checked, your thyroid checked, your adrenals, all of those, the estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, going in. That's a good start, because I'm guessing that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because I think she's close to my age.
She's got to be. Yeah, she's got to be.
A little bit younger, but I think she was close to my age.
Yeah, late 40s.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, we already know she's using wonderful, clean products. And so there's...
She's not getting buildup.
Yeah, so there's some other factors going on. Could be, related to the water. Like we've talked about that before. There's lots of chemicals in the water. You could try a shower filter. But otherwise, I'm guessing it's coming from something internal. So I would try to find that out and balance your system.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go, Alita. I had completely forgot that fun fact. I completely forgot that. Okay, all right, let's wrap it up. We went plenty long this week to make up for last week. So anyway, so there's your wrap up of Curly Q&A Mondays with Melanie.
Thank you for joining us once again.
Yes, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll see you next week. It'll be kind of live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Our producer said we have to tell them that we have to tell the truth. It's ethical. So yeah. So you'll see us. We'll be here next week for episode 79. So anyway.
Why do you keep looking back there?
Because it's written down. That's how I remember. You know how many times I've done this show and I'll say, hey, it's episode number, and I'm like trying to do the math in my head. I'm like, oh, what was it? I forget.
You don't have enough fingers?
No, so I started writing it on there.
I was going to bring Miley. I was going to surprise you. Miley's still here.
Oh, yeah, Miley.
Miley's still here, snotty nose and all.
Yeah, she's still hanging in there. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's it. Don't forget, get your questions in early next week, and we
have a great curly week.
Have a great curly week. Bye.